All right, everybody, we are back with TEW 9, the War of the Immortals save. We are here with the WWF Superstars. Let's take a look back at last week's show. So, in our pre show, we had Dino Bravo and King Kong Bundy beat the Bushwhackers. We had Jesse and Vince run down our show. We had the opening contest of Jimmy Superfly Snuka versus the Natural Butch Reed. We had the Rougeos talking smack to the Natural Disasters. We had Jim Duggan and the Nasty Boys defeat a Honky Tonk Man and the Powers of Pain. The $1 Million Man says it's time to part ways. After Saturday night's main event, we had Ken Shamrock defeat Sergeant Slaughter. The LOD accept the match from the Money Inc. Then we had the Road Warriors defeat Power and Glory. Lex Luger tells Mr. Perfect that his time as the Intercontinental Champion is up. Then we had the fabulous Rougeau brothers defeat the Natural Disasters. We had Jake talk to Macho Man Randy Savage that, hey, you know what? Your time is coming up, and at Saturday night's main event, I am going to beat you for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Then we had Jake defeat Rick Rude. We had Warrior tell Rude that he is on at Saturday night's main event. Then we had Savage defeat Warrior by countout. So I will be back when I am done booking the show. So I will see you all in a few minutes. One. All right, everybody. So we have the whole show booked. Let's jump into it with our first pre-show match here. In a pre-show bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, the fabulous Rougeau brothers defeated the Bushwhackers in 10 minutes and 10 seconds when Jacques Rougeau submitted Bushwhacker Luke with a bear hug. The fabulous Rougeaus make defense number 5 of the WWFC tag titles. The crowd is expectant and simmering. The wrestling rating is a 72. The crowd rating is a 53. Our segment got an 80. Raymond had an 80, Jacques had an 88, both Bush and Luke had a 60. It advanced the Rougeaus and the Road Warriors storyline. Jacques and Raymond showed excellent chemistry teaming together, and the Bushwhackers showed excellent chemistry teaming together. So let's head off to our opening segment, which got a 79. I was not expecting that. Welcome, everybody, to WWFC Superstars. What a night we have in store. The road to King of the Ring continues as 2 more matches in the King of the Ring tournament will take place here tonight. That's right, McMahon. Only the best of the best will move on. And tonight we're going to see some big-time names punch their ticket to the next round. But that's not all, because tonight's huge main event, we have a fatal 4-way featuring 4 of the best in the business: Mr. Perfect, Ravishing Rick Rude, the Ultimate Warrior, and the Snake Jake Roberts. All 4 men looking to stake their claim for a future WWFC World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. That's a match right there, McMahon. You got the technical excellence of Mr. Perfect, the power of the Warrior, the cunning of Rick Rude, and the unpredictable, dangerous mind of Jake Roberts. That's a recipe for chaos, and I love it. Also in action tonight, Mr. Wonderful will step into the ring, looking to make a big statement in his war with Sergeant Slaughter at Saturday night's main event. And speaking of big matches, we also have a one-on-one showdown between former champions as Nick Bockwinkel takes on Dino Bravo. Bockwinkel is one of the smartest wrestlers in the game, but Bravo's got the strength advantage. This is going to be a battle of brains versus bronze, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some fireworks. All that and so much more, including 2 more King of the Ring matchups. It's a can't-miss edition of WWFC Superstars, so don't go anywhere. The action starts right now. So the crowd is hot and rising. It advanced all our storylines. Jesse Ventura improvised well. The commentary lifted it. The angle got the crowd hotter. It got the show off to a strong start, and we got a 79. So let's head into our first match. In a decent match. Oh, I keep forgetting to take that off. Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Nasty Boys defeat the Honky Tonk Man and Power and Glory in 8:50 when Brian Knobbs pinned Paul Roma with a power slam. The crowd is hot and rising. The wrestling rating is a 59. The crowd rating is a 49. And our segment got a 73. So Jerry Saggs got a 52. Brian Knobs got a 53. Hacksaw had a 77. Hercules had a 49. Paul Roma had a 51. And the Honky Tonk Man had a 72. It advanced our Honky Tonk Jim Duggan storyline. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. Jimmy Hart did good work at ringside. And I keep forgetting to take Jimmy Hart off of the Nasty Boys as he's not their manager no more. So let's head to our next segment. Take a good long look, because this is what happens when hard work, dedication, and pure excellence step into the ring. I told the world I was coming for the WWFC Intercontinental Championship at Saturday night's main event. I went out there and backed up every single word. Mr. Perfect, you were tough, no doubt about it, but when it came down to it, you just weren't good enough. But now I've got this title around my waist. I'm not just going to sit back and coast. I'm looking forward to my next challenge, because a real champion doesn't duck competition. A real champion steps up to the plate. So whether it's an old rival or a new challenger stepping up, I welcome it, because I'm just getting started. This Intercontinental Championship, it's staying right here, and if anyone thinks they're going to take it from me, well, they better get ready for a fight of their life. So, the crowd is white hot. The segment got an 80. It advanced our Lex Luger storyline, and the angle got the crowd hotter. So, let's head to our next match. In a decent match, Kenta Kobayashi defeated the Natural Butch Reed in 12-12 by pinfall with the Brainbuster. This match was a part of the King of the Ring. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 64. The crowd rating is a 53. The segment got a 73. Butch Reed had a 59. Kenta Kobayashi had a 68. Kenta debuted as fan favorite, which got a great. It advanced our King of the Ring. The commentary lifted the match. The color commentary gave it a boost, and the Natural Butch Reed and Colonel Robert Parker are a good pairing and play off each other. So, I bought All Japan. I brought in some players from there. As you notice, Kenta is here. He is going to be a big fixture now. There are also two other people that I have brought in. I am going through that roster and picking out a few more people to bring in. So, we will be seeing a few extra people. Also, this match was a part of the King of the Ring tournament. So, we will see Kenta in the next round. So, let's head off to our next segment. Ooh, boy, that is just horrible. Listen to this, Raymond. These people, these ungrateful so-called fans, they don't appreciate true excellence, do they? Of course not, Jacques, because they're too busy worshipping teams like the Road Warriors, who think face paint and spikes make you champions. But we, the fabulous Rougeaus, we are the ones with the gold. And we are the greatest tag team to ever step foot into this ring. Oh, you don't like that? Too bad, because it's the truth. Week after week, we come out here, we outclass, out-wrestle, and outsmart every team that steps in front of us, and yet people still talk about the Road Warriors like they're some unstoppable force, please. Animal, Hawk, you two may be big, you may be strong, but you're not the fabulous Rougeaus. You see, this isn't about power, it's about superiority. And if you ever get the courage to step into the ring with us, we will show you why. We are the premier tag team in the WWFC. So to every team in the back, take a good look. The Road Warriors, the Natural Disasters, the Nasty Boys. None of you will ever take these titles from us, because no one can stop the fabulous Rougeaus. No one. So, the crowd is very hot still. The segment got a 69, which is a lot less than I thought they would get. It advanced our Rougeaus versus the Road Warriors storyline. The commentary quality lifted the segment. And the color commentary gave it a boost. So, let's head off to our next segment. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, the Natural Disasters defeated the Twin Towers in 9:39 when Earthquake pinned Akeem with an Earthquake Splash. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 73, the crowd rating is a 60, and the segment got a 79. Typhoon had a 73, Earthquake had a 72, Big Boss Man had a 79, Akeem had a 66. The match suffered because of the lack of selling. Earthquake and Typhoon showed excellent chemistry. Akeem and Big Boss Man had great chemistry. The commentary quality lifted it. Slick did good work at ringside, and Akeem and Slick have good chemistry. So, this match was actually meant to be the Road Warriors versus the Twin Towers, but Animal showed up drunk. So, we sent him home, gave him a fine. So, in replace, the Natural Disasters got a win, which I just actually kind of just set the match up and just let it play out. So, the Natural Disasters pick up a win here in a pretty good match. So, let's head to our next segment. Oh, I got a 70. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the pleasure will be yours when you witness a demonstration of wrestling excellence. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I could do this. Aha, I can. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the pleasure will be all yours when you witness a demonstration of wrestling excellence, courtesy of Nick Bockwinkel. You see, I've spent decades mastering this craft, perfecting every hold, every counter, and every strategy necessary to outclass, outmaneuver men of lesser intellect and ability. And tonight, I find myself across the ring from a man who believes that brute strength alone is enough to succeed in this great sport. Dino Bravo, Canada's strongest man, as he likes to call himself. Well, Dino, I've seen men stronger than you, tougher than you, and yes, smarter than you. And you do know what happens to each and every one of them. They were humbled, humiliated, and defeated. Because, Dino, wrestling is not about how much weight you can bench press, nor is it about how thick your neck is. It's about skill, precision, and a level of intelligence that you, quite frankly, do not possess. So tonight, when the bell rings, you may very well outmuscle me, while you may attempt to impose your so-called strength upon me. I will simply outthink, outwrestle you, and outclass you in a manner befitting of a man of my stature. So prepare yourself, Dino, because after tonight, you and everybody else will be reminded why Nick Bockwinkel was and always will be the superior competitor. So, the crowd is very hot. The segment got a 70, which is fantastic. It advanced our Nick Bockwinkel storyline. The commentary quality lifted the segment, and the color commentary gave it a boost. So let's head into Nick Bockwinkel's match. In a decent match, Nick Bockwinkel defeated Dino Bravo in 10-12 by pinfall with the pile driver. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 55. The crowd rating is a 54. The segment got a 66. Dino had a 50 or a 47. Nick Bockwinkel had a 63. It advanced our storyline. Dino and Nick have good chemistry. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. Jimmy Hart did good work at ringside. And let's head to our next segment, which got a 65. So, Larry Zbyszko has now debuted and attacked Nick Bockwinkel. So the crowd's very hot. Larry Zbyszko's old school heel gimmick got a very good. The rating is a 65. I'd advanced the storyline. The commentary quality lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost. So let's head to our next segment. Fantastic. Something fantastic out of this. Nick Bockwinkel, you really think you could run away from me, huh? You thought you could escape the living legend by coming to WWFC, thinking maybe I'd just forget about you? That I'd let bygones be bygones? Well, newsflash, Nick. You didn't get rid of me. All you did was bring the fight somewhere new. You see, Buckwinkle, you and I, we go way back. But this problem is, your time is past and my time is now. You could put on your fancy suits, talk with your big words, and try to act like you're still the smartest guy in the room. But the fact remains you're standing in my territory now. And I'm not letting you off the hook. I've been waiting for this moment, Buckwinkle, and now I've got you right where I want you. There's nowhere left to run. I'm going to embarrass you, outthink you, outwrestle you. And when it's all said and done, you're going to have no choice but to admit that I was always better than you. So the crowd is very hot. The segment got an 81. It advanced the Nick Buckwinkle Larry Zbyszko storyline. The commentary quality lifted it, and Larry Zbyszko was getting much better at his gimmick. So let's head to our next segment. In a decent match, Paul Orndorff defeated Barry Horowitz at 9:59 with the pile driver. And we've had 2 matches in with a pile driver. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 61. The crowd rating is a 56, and the segment got a 74. So Barry Horowitz had a 56. Paul Orndorff had a 66. It advanced the Sergeant Slaughter Paul Orndorff storyline. Jesse Ventura and Vince McMahon have great chemistry calling matches. The commentary lifted it. The color commentary gave it a boost, and Barry Horowitz is getting better at his gimmick. So let's head to our next segment. Oh yeah, do you feel it, huh? Did you hear it? Did you see it? The Macho King rules supreme once again. Dig it. A few nights ago at Saturday night's main event, Jake Roberts thought he was going to slither his way to the top, but instead he got crushed under the weight of destiny. Yeah! Jake, you put up one hell of a fight, but in the end, the cream rises to the top, and the Macho King ain't stepping off his throne for anybody. No way! But now the road to King of the Ring is upon us, and everyone wants a piece of the crown. Yeah. So who's next? Who's stepping to the plate? Will it be Mr. Perfect, the so-called perfect one? Will it be Rick Rude, a self-proclaimed ravishing one? Will it be the Ultimate Warrior, all wild and crazy, huh? Or maybe, just maybe, Jake Roberts wants to try his luck one more time. Yeah. It doesn't matter who it is, because at King of the Ring, whoever wins that #1 contenders, you're stepping into the ring with the Macho King. And let me tell you, when the lights are on, when the pressure is high, and the WWFC World Heavyweight Championship is on the line, I always deliver. Oh yeah. So bring your best, bring your fight, bring your A game. But just know this, when it's all said and done, you will bow before the Macho King, because his throne ain't getting taken away from me. Oh yeah, dig it. So the crowd at the end is very hot. The segment got a 91. It advanced our Savage Roberts storyline. So let's head to the next segment. In a decent match, Ted DiBiase defeated Jimmy Superfly Snuka in 12:29 by pinfall. That was supposed to be submission. Whatever. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating is a 68. The crowd rating is a 67. The segment got a 79. Ted DiBiase had a 71. And Jimmy Snuka had a 66. It advanced the Lex Luger Ted DiBiase storyline. The creative finish I picked was a success. The commentary quality lifted it, and Ted DiBiase benefited from a hot new move. I wonder what it was. So let's head off to our next segment, which got a 78. Not too bad. Oh, listen up, tough guys. This past Saturday night, I went out and did exactly what I said I was going to do. I took the fight straight to the Honky Tonk Man. And yeah, I got my hand raised, but let's be real. That ain't good enough. A count-out win? That doesn't sit right with me. Honky Tonk Man, you know as well as I do that you took the easy way out. You knew I had your number, so instead of fighting like a man, you took a walk. Well, let me tell you something, Honky. I ain't done with you. That WWFC World Television Championship still sits around your waist. And I ain't gonna stop until I take it away from you. The right way. 1, 2, 3 in the middle of that ring. So I don't care if it's next week, next month, or right now. I want another shot. No countouts, no running. Just you and me in that ring. And we'll see if you can actually back up all that talk. But I got a feeling that once you step up to the plate, you're going to strike out. So the crowd is very hot. The segment got a 78. To advance the Honky and Jim Duggan storyline, the commentary quality lifted the segment. So let's head to our next segment. Oof, I didn't expect that. In a decent match, Sergeant Slaughter defeated King Kong Bundy in 6:33 by submission with the Cobra Clutch. The match was a part of the King of the Ring. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 57. The crowd rating was a 60. The segment got a 68. King Kong Bundy had a 49. Sergeant Slaughter had a 64. It advanced the Sergeant Slaughter Paul Orndorff storyline, and it advanced our King of the Ring storyline. The commentary quality lifted the segment, and the color commentary gave it a boost. So let's head off to our next segment. Saturday night's main event didn't go the way I wanted it. And yeah, I lost the Intercontinental Championship to Lex Luger, but let's get one thing straight. I don't need that title anymore. I carried it. I made it mean something. And now it's time for me to move on to something even bigger, something even better. And that means you, Randy Savage, the so-called Macho King, sitting on top of the mountain as the WWFC World Heavyweight Champion. Let me ask you this. How long do you think you could stay there with Mr. Perfect coming for you? I know there's a fatal four-way coming up to decide your next challenger, and Savage, I don't care if it's Rick Rude, Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake, or anyone else. I want you to know that sooner or later, it's going to be me standing across the ring for the WWFC World Heavyweight Championship. And when that happens, Savage, your title reign at the top, it's going to come crashing down. Because the truth is, you may be the champion right now, but you're not perfect. And in this business, being perfect is the only way to stay on top. Enjoy that title while you can, Randy, because your days as champion are numbered. So, it advanced the crowd heat is still hot. We got a 91. It advanced the Savage Roberts and Perfect storyline and the Lex Luger Ted DiBiase storyline. Mr. Perfect benefited from having a hot catchphrase. So, let's head to our main event. I figured that was going to happen. In a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat, Jake Roberts defeated the Ultimate Warrior Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect in 14-15 when Jake pinned Rick Rude with the DDT. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating got a 91. The crowd rating got an 84. The segment got an 87. Mr. Perfect had an 87. The Ultimate Warrior had a 96. Rick Rude had an 83. The Jake Roberts had a 97. It advanced the Savage Roberts Perfect storyline and the Warrior Rick Rude storyline. The Jake Roberts creative finish I picked failed. Perfect was off his game. Jesse Ventura and Vince McMahon had pretty good chemistry, and the match got the crowd buzzing. So let's finish off our show. And we got an 86, not too bad. It increased our popularity in 5 regions. So let's finish everything off. The financial report, we made $661,000. There we go. We are up to 72 in most of Canada. Not really moving anything in British Columbia and the Maritimes. So that's kind of bad. So let's head off and finish this off. So that is everything for this episode. I will see everybody in the next one.